If you want to gain muscle as a beginner, there's one simple principle that you need to understand. When I started lifting, I spent my first 2 to 3 years spinning my wheels, barely making any progress with muscle size or muscle strength. It took me years to realize what the problem was, but once I did, I was able to make up for all that lost time in about 1 to 1.5 years of proper lifting. If you implement the 3 steps I'm going to share with you in this video, then you could potentially save yourself years of wasted effort in the gym and potentially get your dream body a lot faster. So what happened is that after losing 70 pounds, which by the way, if you want to hear the story of how I lost 70 pounds in high school, the link to that will be in the description. But after that, I decided that I wanted to get into lifting because I was not happy with where my physique was. My health had improved because I had gone from 240 pounds obese to 170 pounds skinny fat. But I didn't have a physique that I wanted to have, right? Nobody actually wants to look skinny fat. So I realized that I had made a big mistake during this weight loss journey, just doing cardio, kind of overemphasizing cardio and not putting enough emphasis on lifting. So after going to college, I decided that I wanted to get more into lifting and I went online to figure it out. And I found this guy by the name of Athlete X, maybe you've heard of him. This guy has videos for all the muscles on your body, how to grow your biceps, how to grow your legs, how to grow your rotator cuffs, how to grow your erector spinae, which is your low back muscle. So literally what I would do is I would just watch Athlete X videos for every single muscle, and I would go to the gym at my university and I would just do every single exercise. I would basically just, Jeff Cavalier is my personal trainer and he's telling me all these different workouts or all these different exercises, and I'm just gonna do exactly what he says, no questions asked. Jeff is great, but the problem is that I was a beginner, so I didn't really know how to interpret the information he was giving me. I just started doing every single workout and my workouts took hella long because I was doing like 3 different exercises per body part. I would be in the gym for like 2-3 hours at least. I didn't have a specific physique goal in mind at the time. I was just kind of doing what I thought I was supposed to do, which I thought I was supposed to hit every function of every single muscle during every workout. I was basically trying to be some sort of optimal lifter back before optimal lifting was even a term. And I still made progress this way because of what's called newbie gains, which is basically where your body is reacting to the brand new stimulus of lifting weights, of putting stress and resistance on your muscles, and it's gonna respond by growing really, really fast. But even with these newbie gains, my progress was still really slow. They say you're supposed to make the fastest progress in your entire lifting journey in those first 6 to 12 months, right? That newbie gains phase is supposed to be when you're packing on 5+ pounds of muscle over the course of a year if you're doing it properly. So I thought, okay, I still have my newbie gains, right? I just need to train harder and eventually I'll break through and eventually I'll start building the muscle that I want to see. And so I continued with this same approach for the first 2 years of college. Just watch Athlete X, do whatever he says, maybe misinterpret something that he says, but at the time, I think it's all just correct. Just do exactly the exercises he's doing, do all the cardio, do all the core exercises, do all the forearm and calf and bicep and tricep exercises, and then also do all the leg exercises, the back, the chest. I was basically doing full body multiple times a week, but with way too much junk volume. So I continued this approach for the first 2 years of college. And what happened after those first 2 years is that I continued to make very little progress. I was spending even more time in the gym and I was still not really seeing any noticeable gains. Fast forward to junior year and I start working out with one of my friends who I'm living with at the time. And I noticed that he seems to have a pretty structured routine. He also seems to be making progress faster than me. And I'm like, wait a minute, this dude didn't start working out until after I started working out. Like, I've been lifting longer than him. Why is he making progress faster? I asked him, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what's your routine like? He said, oh, I'm doing push-pull legs. I'm like, what's push-pull legs? And he explains to me that it's this popular lifting split where you're basically hitting different muscle groups for the course of 6 days a week. On your push workout, you'll hit chest, shoulders, triceps. On your pull workout, you'll hit back and biceps. And of course, on leg day, you'll hit your legs. So it's the opposite of what I was doing, where I was just trying to hit everything fully all at the same time. I haven't been getting progress on my routine, so I decided to just do the push-pull legs like he's doing and see what happens. And what this did, this new routine, it helped me clear out the unnecessary accessory exercises, the isolation exercises, things that as a beginner aren't really as important as you might think. It got me to focus on the primary compound movements, just the fundamental basic lifts like bench press, squats, deadlift, which help you build foundational strength for your whole body, which is important when you're just lifting. So what I come to understand is that after doing this new routine, I realized that my previous routine had a major flaw, and the major flaw was that I wasn't progressively overloading. And by that I mean I wasn't steadily adding more weight or more reps over the course of time. On my old routine, I was doing so many different exercises that by the time I'm 30, 45 minutes in, I'm still a beginner at this stage and I'm already getting fatigued. My body's already getting tired. My muscles are already getting tired early on in the workout. And because of this fatigue, I just start half-assing the workout, and then I'm not pushing myself to add more resistance, to add a little more weight, or to do a little more reps because I'm already tired and I just started the workout. You're trying to get through the workout as fast as possible because you're thinking about all the other exercises you still have to do. I put way too much on my plate. Not only was I physically tired, but I was also mentally tired because now I'm thinking of, I still have to, again, do core exercises after this. I have to do all the forearm and different parts of the arm. I have to do, 3 different bench press variations. I still have to do all the leg exercises. I have to do cardio. I'm just trying to do way too much and it's overwhelming. Some workouts I would even be in there for almost 4 hours because I just put too much on my plate and gave myself too much to do. Now, I don't know of any person who lifts weights and doesn't take steroids can actually have a good 4-hour lifting session. Like they're just lifting as hard as they can for 4 hours. After the first hour, maybe 2, you're just not gonna put in the same performance. Your muscles are tired, your body's fatigued. And like I said, your mind is fatigued as well. You can't put all your physical and mental energy into just a few lifts and do those lifts at a really high quality. This leads to no progressive overload, thus resulting in no gains. And then you sit there and you wonder why you're not making any progress. You're going to the gym all the time. It's like, why do I still not have muscle? Why do I still look kind of small? I thought I'd be jacked by now. It's because I was lifting less. So because I was lifting less and I was only hitting a few body parts per workout, I'm actually able to go harder. I'm actually able to lift heavier and focus on steadily adding that resistance over time, right? I wasn't getting fatigued and half-assing it. Having this slight resistance added over time, that's what led to muscle growth. That's what helped me to keep getting stronger. Once I made this switch, that's when I finally started seeing real progress in just a short amount of time. After 2 years of spinning my wheels and suboptimal lifting and painfully slow gains. Keep in mind, when I had started, everything was below 100 pounds. I couldn't bench press more than 100 pounds, but now I'm able to, in a few months of progressive overload, work my way up to 185 pounds. I couldn't deadlift more than 100 pounds, but after a few months of progressive overload, I'm able to deadlift 225 pounds. So 3 key steps that you can implement from this video. Number 1, most importantly, if you're a beginner lifter, progressive overload. Implement progressive overload into your routine. The only way for muscles to grow bigger and to grow stronger, which I'm assuming if you're watching this video, that's your goal. The only way to do that is to add more resistance over time, is to put your muscles under a greater amount of stress or resistance than they were the last time you worked out. And that could be slightly more weights. You just add like 2.5 pounds to the bar. Could be more reps, even if it's just 1 more rep than last time. It could even be the tempo at which you do the exercise. So for example, lifting weights at a slower tempo can potentially cause more micro tears in the muscle fiber. Having those micro tears, having that damage to the muscle, that's what actually signals to the body that, hey, we need to come in and repair this muscle and we need to make it stronger and we need to make it bigger than last time so it can overcome that resistance from the weight that we just faced. Step 2 is to track your workouts. I want you to write everything down. Either get a notebook, use the Notes app on your phone, use Notion or something. Track everything. Write down all the exercises you're doing for every single workout, right? If it's chest day, write down all the chest exercises that you're doing. Write down how much weight you're using, how many sets you're doing, how many reps you're doing. You can even write down the rep tempo if you're counting the rep tempo as well. Because what this is gonna do is gonna make progressive overload a lot easier. You can see the exact amount of weight that you're lifting and for how many sets and reps you're doing. And you have this entire backlog of data that you can go back and you can be like, okay, a few months ago, I was only benching 155. Now I'm benching, 195, just as an example. And you can see how each workout you only added maybe 2 reps, you added 1 rep, you added 5 pounds to the bar, but slowly you were getting more and more strong as each workout went on. If you're not tracking your workouts, it's just gonna be a lot harder to see where your progress is. You might end up stalling out and plateauing because you're lifting the same weight over and over, when in reality, you can go stronger than that. You can go to a higher weight than that, or you can do more reps than that, but you weren't aware because you were not tracking. You weren't paying attention to how much you were actually lifting. So track your workouts, have that data, pay attention to what you're doing, especially as a beginner. Then you can take notes and like, oh, maybe I need to work on the form a little bit. Maybe I need to switch this workout out, swap it out for a different exercise because I think that exercise will help me more. Or I don't really feel good doing this particular lift. Let me try a different one next time. Just having that data will help you to plan and will help you to track your steady improvements over time and then plan ahead for the next workout and the next workout and the next workout. You have this data that you can look back on and you can see, oh, okay, this is what I need to change for next time. The third and final tip I have for you is to not focus on the small lifts. If you're a beginner, focus on the compound lifts. Don't worry about the smaller muscles, the biceps, the rear delts, the calves. I know we want to work these muscles and do all these bicep curls and stuff, but as a beginner, you don't really need that. You can directly target these muscles eventually, but for those just starting out, it's more important that you get the most bang for your buck with each exercise. Doing those fundamental lifts like squats or pull-ups or getting a hip hinge movement with a deadlift. These exercises are going to hit multiple muscles at the same time, including these smaller muscles like the biceps, for example. By primarily lifting with compound lifts, you will learn basic form, you will build foundational levels of strength throughout the whole body, including core strength and core stability. You'll avoid muscle imbalances, not entirely, which is why we will add in the isolation exercises, the bicep curls, the rear delt flies, calf raises and stuff later on. But for right now, you will avoid muscle imbalances because you're hitting your entire body basically all at once when you do these bigger lifts. And of course, this allows you to hit more muscles in less time, thus shortening the amount of time you actually have to spend in the gym, increasing the amount of time you can spend recovering and actually allowing your muscles to rest and to grow. Those were just 3 tips. If you're a beginner lifter, if you just started lifting weights, please try and implement all 3 of those things, or at the very least one of those things, because I guarantee you, if you do and you stick with it for a period of not just multiple weeks, but multiple months, if you follow these 3 steps, you will start to see real progress. You will start to make real gains and you will overcome any plateaus that you may have been facing. All right, that's all I have for now. Talk to you guys later.